and, you know, what we do off the field. So
what about, is there glad deep down maybe that this is Alabama that you're going to play against, not Washington? I mean, you want to win a national championship no matter who you're playing, but you're kind of glad you get the big bad bully from the SEC again, team that beat you last year?
Yeah, you know, the trophy is of course first in mind, but
Sure.
because it's Alabama, you know, it means everything. You want to play your best against the best team, and they're undefeated. And, you know, we got to do our best to, you know, keep a loss.
Thanks, Wayne.
No problem.
Defensive guys are all talking about how their offense looks different because they have a new quarterback. But what about from an offensive guy standpoint? Does their defense, from what you've seen on film, look to be changing? They've had some guys, of course, go on to the NFL, but I know they still have a lot of speed. But what are some of the things you noticed this year compared to last year?
Man, their defense, I'd say, has gotten better. It's a lot of the same guys, even though a lot of people have left. But it's the same guys that were there from a depth standpoint that came in and also played to spell some of those people, and man, those players are great. Their front seven is awesome. You know, their secondary is pretty good. So just gonna have to make plays. That's all I can say.
Is it their speed? Is it their scheme? What is it? I mean, because they've got a heck of a defense, obviously. I mean, what do you see in that defense?
Man, they just play great defense. They play their job very well. Each and every player on that defense plays their gap. Linebackers know what to do. You know, the safeties and corners, they know what to do. They're just a really smart defense, and going into that, you have to be a really smart offense and, you know, make plays, because there's going to be a lot of times where it's just going to be maybe a 1 yard gain or maybe a 5 yard gain on a run, because all the defenses filled their gaps, and we're doing everything we can to move the ball. So it's going to be tough, you know, moving down the field, but I think we'll be ready.
All right, so play scout, because you get to, during the game, when you're on the sideline, watch a pretty good defense every game yourself. So, I mean, what do you see in your defense when you're watching them, and now looking at Alabama's defense? Do you see some similarities in terms of the quickness, in terms of some of the things that you guys do?
I see the same thing. Our defense is pretty much their defense to us, and, you know, that's a great asset, because we've been playing our defense in practice each and every week. And, you know, like I said, the front seven of Alabama is more like our front seven. So, man, we're just going to put our all into this game, which we are, and just play good football.
You look at that defense, like you said, it's so smart. How much emphasis goes into what you said?
Why don't we visit with Artavis Scott once he gets off the phone? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Representing them wherever I go.
You've been on phone interview. So let's go over here. Why don't we go in and get on this guy?
Mike Williams 6'5", and they're all 6 foot, 6'1", so it'll be interesting to see how they try to deal with all the players that we have at all of our skill positions. So it'll be good.
Now, Deshaun's taken a lot of flack this year for interceptions. For the most part, you guys have been good enough to overcome any interception or turnovers that you guys have had. In this game, how much more important is it to maintain ball possession when you guys have it?
Like you said, I mean, whenever we get down in those crunch moments, we tend to take care of the ball the most. It's just a matter of out here on big plays and stuff like that when we're trying to hit the man deep or tip balls, different stuff like that. It's really when the interceptions come from, or Mike Williams slipping on a corner route. So, I mean, it's not fully Deshaun's fault, but once it comes down to crunch time, I feel like the whole offense it's just like, all right, we need to take care of the ball. We can't turn it over. We got to go down and score. We need these points. So definitely when it comes down to crunch time, I think we play the best, honestly, and we're able to go out there and perform and just execute and take care of the ball.
And on that note, they've scored 11 defensive touchdowns, so it's even more important because you know they can score going the other way, arguably better than any other team you face.
Yeah, that's something that really definitely sticks out to you just from their defense. But I think we only had one defensive touchdown scored on our offense So we're just going to try to make the most out of every opportunity, try to take care of the ball as much as possible, and then if it does happen to be an interception, God forbid, we're just going to all have to chase and just try to get the guy on the ground and make their offense go out there and just play against our defense and try to stop them if we can. But we just got to capitalize and just, like I said, just take care of the ball.
You see their defense on film. You remember the last year's game. Seeing a totally, pretty much a replica of what you saw last year, some different faces, but a lot of the same schemes, a lot of the same abilities.
I wouldn't say a replica, honestly. I would definitely say their defense last year might have been a little bit better. Just with their front four that they had last year, they had 8 other guys that they could have rolled in there, and I think they all went to all of them went to the draft. So just with them having that depth at that position, it's kind of put it hard on our offense because, I mean, you're just trying to go tempo as fast as you can, tire those guys out, try to keep everybody on the field so they can't sub. And that was probably one of the hardest challenges. And then just going to this year, they have probably 4 starters that, I mean, are their best football players, and they're going to try to keep them on the field as long as possible. So tempo is going to be our best friend, and probably their linebackers are the best linebacker group that we've seen, and then their DBs are just as athletic as our skill players, if not more athletic. So it'll definitely be a good challenge for every position.
Keep in mind, and you mentioned tempo, and tempo also means running guys in and out on offense as well, and you've got 2 wide receivers available in your passing game. You didn't have in this game last year with Kane and also Mike. I mean, I think that's maybe an underrated storyline. Have you thought about that a little bit?
I mean, just having those 2 guys just be the deep threat that they are, it's going to definitely put stress on that defensive coordinator to see how they want to play their coverage, if they want to change stuff, if they want to double Mike, because, I mean, just having a guy like Mike, it kind of just makes you have to switch everything up. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of adjust to our passing game. But we just have to go out there and execute and just make the big plays whenever the opportunity presents itself.
How close is your hometown to Tampa City?
It's not really close at all, honestly. It's probably about 7.5 hours away, something like that, maybe 6 or 7, up in the Panhandle. So it's a little ways.
I've never driven the Panhandle down to Tampa City, so I don't know the drive time.
Yeah,
I had a feeling it's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Really, it's almost as close to here as it is to Tampa City.
It's honestly about the same, yeah.
Wow. As you say, with all the different playmakers, you know, some games you're the guy who, you know, is a star on the wheel route. Think Louisville, for example. Some games it's another guy. That's the thing about this team. It's almost as if, you know, Deshaun has so many different flavors to pick from. If you notice in watching film and when you guys are preparing for other defenses, you guys seem to be as, you know, weapon deep as any team you've seen on film this year.
I would say so. Just all the guys we have, anybody can go out there and make a play. I mean, you saw it the other day with C.J. Fuller whenever you went out there and made that amazing pass interference in the end zone. So, I mean, it's just a matter of just having all the depth that we have, all the persistency, all the consistency. So, I mean, you can honestly put any guy in there, and if the opportunity presents itself, they're going to go out there and make that big play in crunch time whenever we do need it to happen. So,
the craziness of this year when you guys came so close to obviously the NC State game and then obviously Pittsburgh. All right, let's go back to your shot here.
Oh, really? Yeah. Congratulations on your record. Thank you.
Do you want to move over a little bit?
Yeah.
You good? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Not too bad. All right. I know you've had a million questions thrown your way, but the process of having to go through this another year has got to help. And I use the analogy with some of the guys over there. It's almost like probably taking classes as a freshman and taking classes as a sophomore. Is that a fair analogy of playing a 15-game season? Of getting ready not only for a big bowl semifinal game, but a championship game?
I mean, I don't think you can relate to school this because school and football kind of different because, I mean, a lot of people want to do football. You don't want to do school. So, I mean, it's kind of different, but it's definitely you have to put a lot of work into it. I mean, you definitely got to be locked in to know what you're doing and for this opponent. So, I mean, it's going to be a good opportunity.
Tell me what you see in their defense this year that's either different or similar to last year.
Definitely similar from last year. I mean, they fly around. They got a knack for the ball. Tough defense. I mean, they don't make mistakes. So in order to beat them, you got to be on your A game and you got to make plays. I mean, they ain't going to give you anything. So that's the one thing I noticed about that team from last year to this year.
Is it the speed that maybe they make up for a mistake they might, you know, have made, or is it the scheme? I mean, what is it about them that makes them so efficient?
There's a lot of things. I mean, definitely the speed helps out a lot. I mean, the technique that they use it, they make the game easier for them to based off their technique. I mean, you got good technique, the game comes easy for you, and that's what you see on them. Like I say, they don't make a lot of mistakes, and if they do, they have another player to make up for that one person mistake. So they definitely do their job. I mean, but that's what makes this game special. I mean, you're having fun playing in this type of game against that type of team. I mean, they definitely ain't gonna give you anything.
I thought Jordan made a good point. He said tempo is really going to be your friend in this game as much as any, because maybe they don't have the depth and are rotating as many guys defensively as they did last year.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, last year they got some coming on, they got a load coming back on. So, I mean, that's definitely going to play into our favor. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to be ready for that. But we go fast, we do what we do and play in our game and don't play their game, we'll be fine.
And when you see their defense on film, you go against a pretty good defense in practice. You get to stand on the sidelines and watch a pretty good defense when you're not playing offense. I mean, what are some things that maybe as you watch their defense, you're like, hey, that kind of reminds us of what we do here, or we do this?
Definitely everything I see that they do, our defense can do. So, I mean, I feel like I go against the best defense every day in practice. So, I mean, I ain't going to be overwhelmed by anything they do. So, that's just like with our team. I don't think we're going to be overwhelmed. I mean, we play against great people every day in practice. I mean, so they ain't going to overwhelm us.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
You guys' kind of runs coincided with how well you guys Clemson was recruited in Tampa. You're kind of the first one, and then beyond where you're rolling out. You want this as far as we've been?
No,
We did Wayne Gallman.
We did Jordan.
Okay, I started
our
a little bit
later.
They might. They don't really tell us that. But we're going to take our shots, obviously, and we're going to have fun with it. I don't think we've ever been a team that kind of held back because we were scared that someone was going to pick it off. I think we have enough faith in Deshaun that he's going to make a good decision, good throw. So I think we're still going to take our shots when we need to.
How important is it to not get hung up on this idea of the rematch? I mean, it's the same two programs, but
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are a different team, and so are they.
Yeah, I think it's helpful to know that we have a rematch, another second chance, because it's just been all year that we've been waiting to get back, and to get back like a team like Alabama. So we definitely don't want to forget it, but at the same time, we can't be so engulfed in it that we forget our game plan. So just use it as a little bit of extra motivation will help.
How hard was it to get back to this point? I mean, you know, the teams that started the season 1 and 2 finished at 1 and 2. I mean, that's pretty rare in college football. I mean, that never happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tough. I don't know if it's happened. I know it hasn't happened in college football, a playoff scenario where teams have rematched. But it's definitely tough. It's tough to get back there, period. And to have the two teams as last year is pretty cool and special for us because we get another opportunity at them.
It's happened once in 51 Super Bowls.
51. Yeah, I did see that actually. That's definitely unique. Yeah.
So you get to be a part of history.
Yeah.
You know, this may not happen for a while.
How many times it happened in a national championship? Do you know?
And when you were just talking just now, I was thinking, I want to say, because again, they used to do national championships on the polls.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
1 and 2
Yeah.
didn't meet.
Yeah.
Like one year, Oklahoma started New Year's Day 5th, and everyone in front of them lost, and they beat number 1 Penn State. But they were
ended
5th,
up, yeah.
And they were 5th, and Penn State was 1. I think that's how it
Yeah.
was. But Miami had to lose. Iowa had to lose, and somebody else
and they had to win.
And they had to win, and they played the last game. They played at 8:30, and they weren't.
That probably helped. Yeah.
One day they moved all the way up.
Yeah.
But and so, I was just thinking about that when you were saying that. The Super Bowl one is the one I did the comparison.
Yeah.
Because again, the Super Bowl had went from a pool of right after the merger. Well, they did it 3 games before the merger, but you had 10 AFL teams and like 14 NFL teams. The bottom line is they were always going from a pool of at least like 24 teams, and now of course they're 32.
Yeah.
This is a pool of about 65 teams.
Yeah.
And the fantasy.
Yeah. It's pretty special. Yeah.
I thought maybe Jordan made the best point in that the tempo you guys use could even be more to the benefit this year than last year, because Alabama maybe doesn't use as many guys defensively as they were a year ago. They've got quality, but maybe they're not running guys in it.
Yeah, they definitely have quality. I mean, they're Alabama, but the depth is something that we're going to try to exploit, and they probably see stuff about us that they want to exploit. So we're just going to have to play our game. We're not going to all of a sudden go extremely fast. just because we want to exploit that. I think we're going to do what we have to do and try to just do what we do in practice every day. Just be ourselves, be Clemson.
Watching the film for Alabama this year and their defense, is it similar to what you saw when you were prepping last year, or is there something really different that comes out?
The only thing, very, very similar. Extremely athletic in the back end. Their front seven are extremely good as well and physical. But I think their non-offensive touchdowns, their special teams, but as well as their defense, I think they've scored 9 times the defense or something like that. It's something that pops out. So you definitely want to take care of the ball, and you definitely want to not turn it over and put our defense in a bad spot.
Just, the micro numbers, last year you guys went into this game -2 in turnovers. This year you're going in +1, so you guys are going for it, despite all the turnovers.
And like I think Coach Sweeney's been saying ever since before last game, that if we finish plus in the turnover margin, we'll win the national championship, and so that's big for us, just trying to be plus.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Just another thought on the fact that, one game it's Jordan making a wheel play against Louisville, another game it's C.J. Fuller getting bumped as he makes a catch. The different amount of guys, it's almost like that has to be a huge advantage, because there seems to be a different star of the show. It's almost like the kind of the flavor of the day. So
and that's why Deshaun's so great, because he can spread the ball around, and that's why I think our offense is so explosive, because I think last guy we had 8 guys who caught a different ball from Deshaun, different receivers, and so just having that explosiveness everywhere and not just one person limits them double covering a guy or really keying on a guy. So just being able to spread the ball around.
And to that point, he's got a guy, with all due respect to you and the other receivers, you got a top 10 pick at a wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
It would be easy just to always look there first.
I know,
We
have a top 10 pick in Mike, and then Clemson's all-time leading receiver in Tay, and so it definitely helps me out a little bit, because they might double cover them and leave me open, but it's definitely a benefit of having them. Yes, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Personally, how different is
I think we're good.
I don't know if you want to ask Guillermo about defensive line of Alabama or not.
An excellent field producer. Why not? How are you guys, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Can't complain. Peak Anity.
Yes, sir. Jay Guillermo.
Good to see you. First off, you're a guy who's sage, been around for a while, and now you and many of the veterans are in your second year of going through a 15-game deal. Is there anything easier about it this year? Because again, you've already taken this course before, so to speak.
It's really just knowing how to work to get there. Last year there was some uncertainty with practice schedules, and you didn't know kind of what the next day brought, and now you got a good idea of what the practice schedule is going to be, what there's going to be. It's not a bowl experience, it's a normal work week for us, and we've already gotten the bowl experience out of the way, so just guys learning that and knowing that to be able to, so we can be fully locked into the process and everything that we need to do this week and up till Monday, and just be 100% locked in and focused.
We're going to see a bunch of NFL guys on the other side of the ball you did last year. First off, when you watch them on film, I would think they jump off the film at you. Is there any comparison to who you've had to block this year?
They're kind of like in a league of their own. Obviously not just as a program, but as a defensive line in particular. And they got maybe one of the best maybe the best defensive player in college football, in Jonathan Allen. Freak athlete. A lot like Christian Wilkins, a guy that plays in, can come inside and play 3 technique, really good against the run and really good pass rusher. And then the guys on the inside, they got 54 and 94, I believe, are the 2 numbers, and they just really strong, stout, move well, and really finishing plays, go hard kind of guys, which is really dangerous whenever they're obviously well coached, and so whenever you get all that, it's kind of like the total package, and then obviously their linebackers are just ball hawks. So like you said, a lot of NFL guys, a lot of NFL talent, and a lot of guys that played last year too, so they have experience in big games, and you know, don't get overwhelmed by anything they see.
That's the one thing. I mean, both these teams, again, with the repeat situation, you know, the only thing that really has changed is, I guess, the stadium, because all the other stuff.
Yeah,
and you've both been through the drill within the last year.
Exactly, and once again, a lot of guys that have played in this situation. A lot of our team has played, you know, played last year, and a lot of their team played last year. So not a whole lot of guys being starstruck, I guess, you know, or getting overwhelmed by the big lights or anything like that. So that'll be good, because then that'll normally sets up for a clean football game, and one of the kind of games that you want to watch.
And playing.
Yeah, exactly, and playing. Obviously, yeah. And anytime, you know, you can play in a game like this, not just being the national championship, but being able to go out and play a really, really tough opponent, really good opponent, is so special, and really a great way to kind of finish out the year.
Do they tend to do some junk things at all, or are they just so skilled that they just kind of come right at you? Is there a lot of, you know, complexity there?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes they'll bring a little more pressure, do a little more things you don't see every day. But then, yeah, sometimes they just line up and say, go play ball. And, you know, they've got obviously a really strong front, like I'd mentioned, but on the back end, they got guys that, you know, I know they had gotten, Eddie Jackson had gotten hurt this year. I believe it was him that had gotten hurt, number 4. But then it didn't matter, because they just had guys roll in and roll out. And obviously, you know, you never want to lose a guy as talented as he is, but the way they recruit, the way that they are able to just roll guys in and out and have quality depth is another reason that makes them so successful.
True. And then a final thought. With you and the guys on the line, you've probably had enough snaps, and you know, you get a bunch of starts now with Tyrone, with Mitch, et cetera, et cetera. Is it almost like, you know, there's really nothing they're going to show us we haven't seen?
Yeah, and there's not, you know, especially with the defense that we play every day. You know, obviously Coach Venables lives on bringing pressure, and that prepares us really well, you know, not even over the course of a game week, but during the fall, during camp, during winter workouts, you know, it really prepares us well, and we're able to not be as overwhelmed by things that we see.
Fabulous. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
See you down the line.
Okay. Coming, man. Get you down here for ESPN. Is Dabo doing the big room? Yeah. Okay. Now you're coming back up here. Okay. Is Dabo doing the big room?